Hello, 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 hello. Beautiful people, good evening, and welcome back to Money Education Talk Show. Of course, as usual, we are going to be making this topic or talk show very brief and snappy. In a few minutes, we are done. So let's go straight to the point. What we have to talk about today is what it means to be rich, what it means to be wealthy. So, in other words, a wealthy man and a rich man, are there really differences or are they the same? But the truth is that often we misunderstand the two words, wealth and rich. Wealth and riches. Okay? To be a rich man is what most people long for. To own a very beautiful house, own expensive cars, live a luxurious life, just like what we see in most of our celebrities. But the truth is, these guys or people like this are rich. To be wealthy is not the same thing with being rich. A wealthy man, a wealthy person, is rich, but he is what we call super rich. Okay, sustainable rich, because wealthiness has to do with building assets, not just assets but sustainable and long-term assets. Wealthiness has to do with being careful with expenses. You spend less, you don't dress to impress anyone, you don't eat to impress anyone, you don't stay in big hotels to impress anyone, you don't drive big cars to impress anyone. Everything you are doing is based on personal goals, personal wealth creation or building goals. Okay, for instance, we have heard of celebrities like Tupac, we have heard of celebrities like Mike Tyson, celebrities like Michael Jackson, celebrities even in our different local countries. At the end of these guys declare bankruptcy, sorry. But if you look at people like Warren Buffett, for instance, are you aware that a man like Warren Buffett still lives in a house he bought for himself, an old house he bought for himself in the year 1950 something, I think 1956, 1958. And he's still a wealthy man who is worth billions of dollars in assets, not in cash, in asset, guys. In assets. You see, being wealthy and being rich are not the same thing. They are two entirely different things. So now, there are some points I jotted out here I want us to look at. There are things or attributes that are associated with a wealthy person. The first one is assets. The second one is cash flow. The third one is business, investment, spending less, goal setting, no show off, etc. Okay, number one, assets. What type of assets do you have? When you begin to make money, what do you do with the money you're making? Some of us, when they start making money, the first thing that comes into our mind is to build a house. Yes, building a house is not a problem, but what kind of house are you building? Your personal house is not the most important thing you need. When you start making money, the first thing that should come into your mind is to build assets, stuffs. That you build assets, not just liabilities. You begin to buy a car, you begin to travel around the world, you begin to build luxurious houses, begin to sleep in big hotels, begin to wear big designers clothes and all that, wristwatches, begin to show off on social media that you have arrived. At the end of the day, you are copying the lifestyle of celebrities, because those ones are they are showbiz people. They have to be showing that they belong. You don't need to do that, okay? You need to build assets. There are different assets you can build in this 21st century: cryptocurrency, stock markets, real estate, and so on and so forth. When you have 10 million naira, for instance, or when you have, for instance, $20,000, what do you do with it? Did you know that someone that earns $100,000 can be wealthier than someone that earns $1 million? It's not all about how much you earn. It's all about what you do with the little or the more you earn. So when you hear the richest person in the world, I think the right way should have been the wealthiest person in the world. They check their net worth, which is their asset. They don't check how much they have in bank accounts. Mind you, most wealthy people rarely keep money sleeping or dormant. Their money works for them. Instead, they do what we call OPM, other people's money. They go to the bank, take loan with their credit-worthy facilities, with their credit, because they're worthy to collect any form of facilities because of their assets. And when the bank is giving you money, often they don't check the money in your account, they check your assets as collateral. So if you want to be wealthy, start building assets. I will talk about that later in subsequent videos. Then the next one is cash flow. You need to be sure you have a sustainable cash flow. A wealthy person is that person who can stay for the next 1 year without doing anything, without working, and he is still making money. Let me tell you, the level of your wealth will show when you are no longer working. Anytime you begin to struggle financially when you are no longer working, that's how deep you are or how big you are in terms of being wealthy. And for you to be able to sustain as long as possible, you must have sustainable cash flow, either investment, business, or so on and so forth. What matters is that cash flows in your system. The next one is business. I mean big business. Then the next one is investment, spend less, goal setting, etc. Guys, this video has become longer than I expected. Pardon me. This is a very broad topic, but next time I promise you I'm going to treat them one after the other so I can be able to give you better detailed understanding of what it means to be wealthy and what it means to be rich. But do remember, go for becoming wealthy. Don't be rich. Become wealthy. And it doesn't matter how much you have right now. What matters is what we really understand between these two words, richness and wealth. Riches and wealth. Have you understand the differences, and are you ready to make a choice now? I believe you are going to go for wealth building, not riches. Riches, as Shanshan Bobo. Wealth, Naim Bidi Baba. See you in the next video. Bye.